The PlayStation 4 has seen a wide array of great open world games, and 2018 is going to continue on with that. It looks to be another landmark year for open world experiences, and in this video we want to go over 12 big PS4 open world games coming in 2018. Let's get right into this. Number 12, The Crew 2. The Crew 2 is the follow-up to the first Crew. That was released back in 2014 and it had a lot of hype behind it. I think most gamers would agree that it had a lot of potential, but it didn't quite live up to it. The Crew 2 is adding a lot to the first game. It once again features a persistent open world environment, and it has an offline mode for free roaming across a scaled down recreation of the United States. This time around you can control a variety of different vehicles, including planes, cars, boats, in addition to the cars. Each vehicle has their own control physics, meaning that gameplay is different when players are controlling different types of vehicles. The Crew 2's release isn't far out, it comes March 16th.
A lot on accessibility, so to make sure that all disciplines are easy to pick up, very different from one to another, but easy to pick up, but hard to master, because you will learn and you will try again and you will improve all the time. So you found that the first person view was better for you, and it's good.
What have you guys learned about sort of cultivating that community of players and developing a world that they want to spend time in?
We are having playtests in Lyon every week, players coming to the studio, sharing their player, and to learn from them, to improve the experience, to add, to discover more discipline we can add, or more stuff we can put in the game.
Number 11, Biomutant. Biomutant is one of the more interesting games across all genres and platforms. It's being developed by a new studio, Experiment 101, and published by THQ Nordic. While Experiment 101 are a new studio, the studio is comprised of developers that formerly worked on Just Cause as well as Mad Max. Biomutant is quite different, taking place in an open-world post-apocalyptic environment and played from a third-person perspective where you play as a raccoon-like creature in a world filled with mutated animals. You get to customize your own character, gender, length, thickness, fur, fangs, and many other attributes can be tweaked and all have direct impact on the statistics of the playable character during gameplay. A thicker character is heavier, which makes him slower, but on the flip side allows it to deal and resist more damage. The combat system is also very interesting, and it combines melee attack with long-range shooting. You can pick between a variety of swords, guns, and combine their power by switching between different weapons during combat. Biomutant is set for a release sometime in 2018. Number 10, Far Cry 5. Far Cry is back once again, and ever since Far Cry 3, the series has been very consistent. Far Cry 3 was very good, Far Cry 4 was very good, and Far Cry Primal was very good. However, it recently has gotten a bit stale. Hopefully Far Cry 5 can buck that trend. It is once again a first-person shooter set in an open-world environment where you can explore freely on foot or through various vehicles. Unlike previous titles in the series, there will be a new character creator, which you can use to customize your character's appearance, gender, and skin tone. You'll have a large array of weapons and expect Far Cry 5 to feature the most ever. You'll also be able to tame animals, which was previously introduced in Far Cry Primal. There's now a fishing mechanic, and the campaign can be played individually or with a cooperative partner. And there will be a map editor as well that's been expanded from previous games. Far Cry 5 comes February 27th.
So Boomer's kicked it off, and now he can send Boomer pretty much anywhere.
I think the stealth section is over now.
It's over. Boomer
We've
is
moved
lit
into
it up.
the new chapter.
Yeah.
I like that the dog kind of decided when it was time for things to get
Always trust your
amped
dog.
up. And there's some gun emplacements here to make matters more fun.
Yeah. So Max is gonna tear it up. And you can see civilians are actually...
Number 9, Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is a naval warfare tactical action game set in an open world environment and played from a third-person perspective. You take control of a customizable pirate captain and choose to sail the Indian Ocean either by yourself and set off in a single-player campaign, or accumulate up to 5 other players to ally or engage in combat within the disputed waters. There's a lot of elements that affect the gameplay in Skull and Bones. The wind position can be assessed to gain advantage in battle, and you'll collect other additional ships throughout the game, such as sloops of war, frigates, escorts and brigantines, whose weapons include mortars, broadside cannons, and rockets. All of these different ships will have their own elements and strengths and weaknesses. There is a looting system to the game, and unfortunately microtransactions will be an added feature in the game. Hopefully they don't go overboard on that. We'll see when Skull and Bones releases sometime in 2018.
Take team coordination to take her down.
Hold tight, lads! That ship's badly damaged!
They're killing! We can take their ship! With the enemy ship's broadside now vulnerable, our frigate rushes in to board her.
No quarter! Taste of blackened silver!
Number 8, Black Desert Online. Black Desert Online has been a very popular Korean MMO on PC, and right away when you look at Black Desert Online, it'll stand out to you from a technical perspective. This is one of the best looking games ever. And it's not just eye candy, it's got really solid gameplay, a great high fantasy setting revolving around the conflict between two rival nations, good music, and worthwhile content. Black Desert Online should hit the PS4 sometime in 2018. Number 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a medieval RPG being developed by Warhorse Studios, and it's running on CryEngine, so expect it to look really good. One thing that Warhorse has done a really good job with Kingdom Come Deliverance, at least from what we've seen so far, is really nailing the setting and the time period. They've gotten the ambiance and the elements down to a T to really reflect the time period. The story seems to be shaping up nicely, and within the game, the gameplay is all in the player's hand. You really craft the player how you want him to develop. It's a classless RPG system. You can make your character a hybrid of very different roles. Kingdom Come Deliverance comes February 13th.
We have to prepare for the worst.
You spend all your days drinking and chasing wenches. What kind of fool are you, boy?
You have courage, but you need training, arms, a horse.
Please, take me into your service and give me the chance to learn these things.
Put it all behind you.
I never want to forget this. The time has come for those whoresons to pay for what they did to us.
Move! Move! Sir! They're coming! There's no time!
Number 6, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. Yakuza has been one franchise that for a long time was very neglected over here in the States. Over in Japan, it's one of the bigger franchises out there, but stateside, the releases have been very inconsistent. Recently, that's changed, however. Sega has done a great job with bringing the Yakuza games over to the West. We saw Yakuza 0 earlier this year, and we saw Yakuza Kiwami, and both those games turned out really well. And now we have the next entry, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. It's the next mainline entry of the game, and you once again play as Kiryu as he's approached by the police who plan to arrest him for his past crimes. He chooses not to resist the arrest and willingly spends 3 years in prison in order to live peacefully with the children he had fostered. Unfortunately, things go awry and Kiryu is once again brought into a crazy life that you'll obviously play through in Yakuza 6. The past Yakuza games have all been fantastic. Expect Yakuza 6 to shape up the same way and expect that same mature tone. Yakuza 6 comes March 20th. Number 5, Shadow of the Colossus Remake. Shadow of the Colossus is one of the most iconic video games of all time. Team Ico did a fantastic job with the game, and still to this day, it's one of the most talked about video games. It received immense critical acclaim, and now the game is being remade ground up for the PlayStation 4. This isn't your typical HD remastering. We already saw that last generation on the PlayStation 3 with the Team Ico collection. This is your full-on Ultra HD remake, and whether you've played the game before or you just want to revisit it, there's a lot of reason to be excited to play Shadow Shadow of the Colossus once again, and one of the main issues with Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2 was from a technical standpoint, and now with the game being remade on the PlayStation 4, expect that to be remedied completely. The Shadow of the Colossus remake doesn't have an exact release date yet, but you can expect it sometime in 2018. Number 4, Days Gone. For a long time, we were wondering what Sony Bend's studio was working on. Those are the guys that did the Siphon Filter games. They worked on some other games such as Resistance Retribution, but Siphon Filter was their standout title. It was finally revealed that the studio was working on Days Gone, an action-adventure survival horror game set in a post-apocalyptic open-world environment. You play as a man named Deacon, a drifter and former bounty hunter who prefers to live a dangerous life on the road over living in wilderness encampments. The world is filled with freakers, mindless zombie-like creatures that are quickly evolving. It's up to you to survive in this open world environment utilizing stealth or taking the more aggressive approach. There will be times where you have to fend off hundreds or even thousands of freakers, and survival becomes very difficult. Days Gone's premise isn't out of the ordinary. We've seen games like this with Dead Rising, but this title does seem to have more of a focus on its storytelling. We'll see how it turns out. Days Gone is expected to release sometime in 2018.
Get it. Dinner time.
Drop him! Now! Or I'll kill him!
Number 3, Anthem. Anthem is an online-only multiplayer action RPG set in an open-world environment, and it's the latest game from BioWare. Now, BioWare did leave us with a sour taste in our mouth with Mass Effect Andromeda. However, Anthem is being developed by BioWare Edmonton, and every game does deserve its fair shot, and Anthem is shaping up to be an amazing title. You play as a freelancer, one of a group of bold and courageous people who leave their civilization to explore a lush and dangerous landscape. These freelancers wear a fully customizable exosuit called a Javelin. These suits can be customized to have various unique weapons and superhuman abilities. We've seen two classes of javelins. One was the Ranger, which is an all-around and balanced javelin, and the Colossus, which is a larger and more heavily armored javelin made to fill that tanking role. Now, you can play the game solo or cooperatively. It has both of those elements, but all of it is present in a shared world that can have up to 4 squad members per team. Anthem is a very ambitious title. We'll see if it lives up to the expectations when it releases late 2018.
Some covering fire. There's a bunch more coming in.
Okay, I'll get this round.
Thanks.
Oh, come on. Be something good. Oh, yes! Jerry's wrap.
Oh, nice.
Number 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. We still don't know that much about Red Dead Redemption 2. However, the anticipation for the game is still through the roof, and for good reason. The first Red Dead Redemption game many would say was the best game of last generation, and if you wouldn't go that far, it was at least among the top 1%. Red Dead Redemption 2 is once again a Western-themed action-adventure game set in an open world, and you play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw and a member of a gang. You'll once again have your deep single-player and online multiplayer component, and expect to spend a lot of time in Red Dead Redemption 2. We spent a lot of time in the first Red Dead Redemption game, and now with it being on a new console, and we've seen what Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto 5, and if that type of grandeur is present in Red Dead Redemption 2, well, the possibilities are really limitless. Red Dead Redemption 2 was scheduled for release this year. Unfortunately, it was delayed until Q2 of 2018. Let's just hope that the game delivers and is just as good, if not better, than the first title. Finally, number 1, Spider-Man. We've been waiting so long for a Spider-Man video game to be of the level of what Batman Arkham did for Batman, and it looks like Spider-Man is that game. It's being developed by Insomniac Games, one of the most talented studios in the world. Those are the guys behind Ratchet & Clank as well as Resistance. Those two franchises were excellent, and Spider-Man, from what we've seen thus far, has looked absolutely tremendous. From a visual standpoint, gameplay standpoint, Spider-Man is shaping up to be one of the best games of 2018. It's set in an open-world modern-day New York, and you'll be able to use all of Spider-Man's abilities such as web-slinging, wall crawling, as well as other new gameplay elements such as parkour. There's environmental combat, quick-time events, which at this point we have seen a little bit too much. Hopefully they dial back on that a little bit, and there will be stealth elements to Spider-Man as well. The game looks absolutely terrific. It is scheduled for a 2018 release. Let's hope Insomniac hits that, because this could be one of the defining games of the PlayStation 4's library.
Did that just happen? Yeah.
I'm getting reports of a helicopter with a wrecking ball.
It's complicated. Turns out Martin Lee is running the demons.
The guy who runs the homeless shelter?
Like I said, complicated. Sit tight, Yuri. I got this. Please, let me got this.
That helicopter is destroying the city.
I know.
You need to bring it down.
I know.
So that wraps up the top 12 big PS4 upcoming open world games of 2018. What do you think? Which open world games are you the most excited for that are coming to the PS4 in 2018? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.